Okay, well, now we're going to take a look at your underwater view on your butterfly. And as we come forward, again, I'd like to see your head and shoulders get a little deeper out in front. So as we're coming forward in the stroke, I think that, and I'll kind of draw it out when we get a couple frames ahead, but you can just see here, hips are flat, and that's what I was talking about from the above view. I like to see the hips up higher above the surface of the water. You can see they're down, and your head's kind of on the same plane. So your head's straight with the hips, and we want to really have our head down here and the hips up higher. And that's going to be putting your arms in a better position to pull from. So you'll be a little higher with the hands, and then when you come to pull, as we'll look at in the next frames, I think a lot of your energy here is just pushing up, trying to get into that. We want a higher elbow, and we don't want our elbows kind of leading the way so much that our forearms are flat at this point. We want to be in a little bit more, and I need to take that off because that's not the right view, but we want to be inward a little bit more with the arms, elbows up, and the hands in closer underneath the body. So the elbow there and the arm there, and you can just see how much wider your hands are at that point. And if we can just get them a little bit closer and a little bit more elbow bend at that point, you're going to be pulling a lot more water at the front end. I think that's where you're losing some of your catch and energy, because when you get here underneath the body, elbows are still leading a little bit, but you're in a much better position at that point to pull forward, and you're getting more energy out of your pull. So again, right here, we want to be a little deeper. So if I'm drawing it out, hands would be here, which are kind of at that point, but your head would be a little bit lower here, and then your hips are a little higher here. So when we draw that, it creates a triangle, an inverted triangle, and that's what we're kind of looking for with flyers. And we can see yours is a lot less of an angle with the triangle. It's a smaller triangle, a little flatter, and I think that will help your kick. I think it'll help your forward momentum to just get a little bit, get that chest deeper and that head a little deeper as you're diving forward, and will put your arms in a little bit better position to catch water. I'll compare you to another athlete just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. But if we can get a little deeper, I think that'll get the hips up and get this catch in a better position, because you can just see right here the hands are turned out, and you're really kind of doing everything with your hands and fingers. And really at this point, we should be in a position where the elbow's up a little bit more and the forearms down a little bit more into the hands. So you're creating that high elbow and a little bit more of a catch and power into your catch than you're creating right there. That's a little bit late. You're getting into your catch right here, and then you're doing a pretty good job here, but the elbow's still out in front. I would like to see, as I said, the elbow should be up here and the hand here, so it's a little more vertical than you have it. The elbow is in front of the hand, so you're getting a little less power that way, and we want them to be on plane, so they're more vertical as you're pushing that water backwards into your stroke, into the finish of the stroke. We're going to advance forward. Kicks look good. Again, if we can get those chest forward, I think they'll get the hips up and get more power in the kick. Again, here's what we talked about before, and it's easier to see here. And when I was talking from your above view, when the feet get to the wall, you're still a little bit too much on your back. So your shoulders are here as that arm's coming over, and really this shoulder should be here and the other one should be here, right under the chin. So you should be more on your side than your back at this point on the turn, and that's going to put you in a better position to get that hand in a little bit more streamlined and to get set to push off. We want to push off more from our side than our back in terms of the fly. It'll get deeper push off. So as I'm looking, your feet are high, but because you're more on your back, your angle's a little bit shallow. And we can get here a little bit deeper in that push-off if we were more on our side, angling towards our stomach. But since you have to roll over a little bit more, you're kind of more on your back, so you're going to be a lot more shallow into your kick out. And that's going to help your kick out a lot. We talked about it with your dive as far as holding that body position a little bit more, riding out the dive a little bit more. It's the same with the push-off. You're just a little bit too shallow with it. And in a race, there's going to be water coming in from the other athletes behind you, so it's going to really kind of slow down your momentum if you're too shallow, like you are on that one. Here you can kind of see, as you're pulling and the arms are straighter, the width of your hands is just a little too wide. I talked about that on the above view, and that's what I was seeing. You want to be a little bit closer, and I kind of drew that out. And if we can get your chest and head just a little bit lower, I think that put you in a better position. But you can just see that would be a little bit tighter underneath the body. And I think that's just where you're losing some power. It's right at the front end of the catch. You can just see the hands here, and it just takes a little too long for the hands to get to where they're pulling you forward at this point. And we can get there simply by pushing our chest and our head forward a little bit more. And again, I'll do a comparison. That'll give you a little bit better view of that.